So the Ravens cut Yannick Ngakoue after the win the other night. They got rid of him, which meant he was available to pick up. And shout out to us always getting royally fluffed over, because according to this, we tried to go get Yannick Ngakoue. And we lost to the waiver priority, and now he's a New England Patriot. Oh my lordy. I gotta give a shout out to the front office. You actually did something, you know. This isn't actually a fault of the front office, in all honesty, in this situation. Although, if you go back on the channel, right, watch it a little bit farther back, I was the one preaching to pick up Yannick Ngakoue before the Ravens signed him. Back when he was on free agency for like a couple weeks, up to a couple months. And I really did actually want them to pick him up. So we kind of twittered our, toes together, put our thumb up our butt, and said, we're not going to sign him. Then the Ravens signed him, and we said, you know what? And that would also probably be a good idea. Because when we should have signed him, right? We should have signed him back when he was actually available on free agency, when, again, nobody wanted him, but we were going through hell and back on defense. We were going through absolute tyranny on defense. That's when we should have went out there and said, you know what? We're going to sign Yannick Ngakoue. But we didn't. We twiddled our thumbs. We said, we don't need him. We don't need him. And like that SpongeBob meme, I don't need it. We needed it. So, again, shout out to the front office for doing something. I think Yannick would have been a nice rotational piece for us at the beginning of the season, in the middle of the season, and also at this moment in time. But when they say, if you delay, if you procrastinate something long enough, sometimes you just lose out to it. And we lost out to the Patriots getting him. It is what it is at the end of the day. It sucks. It does. But again, I think there's a bigger problem on defense than just pass rush at this point. Because when we look at our last week's game versus the Ravens, here's a stat line that I don't think a lot of people realize. Heading into the fourth quarter of the Ravens game on Thursday, right? Lamar Jackson had 93 passing yards. Let that sink in. Derrick Henry had less than 50 yards rushing. Going into a fourth quarter, that's what your defense held the best team in football to. The problem is closing games out. The problem is, there is a problem with pass rushing, there is, and we don't really get to the quarterback. But this is a bigger problem than just adding a pass rusher here and there and hoping it fixes it. This is honestly a coaching problem. And I know it's like, okay, well, yeah, fire everyone. No, I'm not saying fire everyone, but there needs to be something that gets looked into, something that gets, kind of fixed here, because we cannot close out games. When you go into a fourth quarter with the lead, and that's what your defense did throughout the whole entire game, that's very, very bad, right? You might say, well, it's because our defense sucks. The defense sucks. No, we have a problem with closing out games. We have a problem with putting teams away. And I don't know, even if we had a better defense, we might still be in the same spot we're in now. And that's the problem. Because we just can't do it. It's a problem with the... I would say it's a problem with the scheme, but to a certain degree it is. Obviously, go to the Ravens game, we have the problem with we can't tackle Tylan Wallace. Give him a free touchdown, right? Hey, obviously, we fumbled the ball. Give him a free touchdown. I don't know if it's a problem of like, okay, well, we're up by a lot, right? So let's run this blitz, or let's play passive, or let's play this. I feel like there's no congruent way that we're playing. The consistency factor is not there. It's just like we're up by a lot of points or up by any margin, and our scheme is, let's just try this out. Like, hey, listen, let's just do this. Let's just do this. Let's try this out. Like, we don't have like a scheme. It's not like, okay, guys, we are up by, I don't know, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Here's how we're going to play defense. Here's how we're going to play offense. Here's how we're going to do this, this, and this, right? We're going to blitz here. We're going to do it's like he looks at, like, again, I kind of feel like they just look at a play sheet, close their eyes, spin around 3 times, and point at something and say, that's it. That's the play. And then we're sitting there like, okay, 4th and 2, what's the play call? 70 yards down the field? I mean, excuse me. Even when I broke it down earlier in the video, I mean, that like 4th and 2 where we threw it 60 yards down the field. Even in that video, as I broke down, you can see there's one route that goes less than 10 yards. One route that goes less than 10 yards. Every other route goes 20 plus yards down the field. I don't understand. And I know, yes, obviously you could say, well, Joe shouldn't have thrown it deep. Every route on that play was 20 plus yards. The only route that was underneath was a running back route, and Roquan Smith was watching it like a hawk. If you need 2 yards on 4th and 2, right? How do you give a play call where everything is 20 plus yards? You give a play call where everything is 20 plus yards on 1st and 10. On 2nd and 10. On early downs. You don't call a 20 plus yard on every single receiver. Maybe you call it on 1 just to keep the defense honest and, you know, so they have to respect you over the top action. But every other route needs to go 3, 4, 5 yards to get the first down. You know, you don't need 17 routes going 60 yards down the field, because what ends up happening is, whoa, what do you know? It doesn't work. And it's back-to-back doesn't works. 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. So it's like, again, it is bad, man. It is. That's all I gotta say. It is definitely a bigger problem, I feel like, than just, yeah, we add Yannick Ngakoue here, we add this guy there. Like, and I said in the game, and I truly believe this, I don't feel comfortable even if we're up by 5 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. I still feel like there's something could happen. Because we've seen us be up by 2 touchdowns and it happens. Twice now. There needs to be some type of look into this, man. Because it's bad. Anyway, tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys in the next one. Peace.